With less than 2 weeks left before the show, there is a new urgency to addressing those missing ingredients that will transform the rehearsals into a fully realized production. Most noticeably, the stage crew comes on board and begins rehearsing in parallel with the actors to make the scene changes as fluid as possible. Snappy changes are a must to hold the attention of the audience, and co-stage managers Tiana, Wright, and Beth, sitting atop Horton's tree, even hold time trials to find the best team to move the piece on stage and exit quickly. And, to help with a small but crucial part of the plot, Beth herself is asked to appear in costume. Working with Tiana and Beth via headset, Shane orchestrates the mechanics of the show from the audience vantage point. And there continue to be new props for the actors to manage, such as a cluster of clovers used to represent the much larger clover field where the Who's are, for a time, stranded.
All right, let's try that again. Girls, we just need to get it out a little bit faster and get you off stage quicker, so it's just James when you're at it.
Inevitably, the ramped-up activity underscores the temporary and sometimes fragile nature of theater work. As in, well, feathers that begin littering the stage. Originally attached to the bird girl costumes with hot glue, they are shedding too quickly to last until opening night. So Laura repairs the plumage with needle and thread.
It's a long story. I had a little trouble because I grew a little tail.
More important is the human wear and tear. Just as Elena, playing Gertrude McFuzz, gets her voice back after a frustrating week, Lily, the sour kangaroo, loses hers and must lip-sync for a few days as Mike graciously, and somewhat playfully, fills in.
I'm making a sour citizen's arrest.
Wait, stop! Where are you taking?
But there are broader issues in play. Stated simply, the actors, as a group, are just not ready. Notes that are taken throughout each rehearsal about the singing, the acting, the projecting, and the movements on stage, in general, the work of storytelling, are given to the actors each night. And at the moment, many areas are falling short, as Mike and Shane take pains to point out.
I will never follow a course. I will just hang you out and crash you and burn because it's the only way you learn. If you touch the hot stove enough, you realize not to touch the hot stove. So that is how that happened. Then we kind of settled in. With the notable exception of the Who's, ya, ba, 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 we have again taken huge steps backwards. Bird Girls and Gertrude, the end is just really still a mess. Oh! I think you have in your ears that it's twice slower than it is.
Double K.
Because the music is done and you're all still just hanging out.
But why can't you soos your way this way versus soos? Because I know as soon as you turn your backs to the audience, you probably get rid of half of the emotion on your face. And when you get rid of half of the emotion on your face, I bet you anything it shows in the emotion of your body. Because you're not thinking about your body anymore, because you're not even facing the audience. There's a big blue line going up the stage that marks center stage for you. Whoever stands directly on that line is center stage. All right, that should be a no-brainer. Yesterday, the big poses over here, 5 feet off center. I'm like, what is that? You're screwing with my OCD.
A number of the problems must be addressed song by song, scene by scene, and, with the reality of the schedule sinking in, the cast responds, gathering in small groups before the general rehearsals, either on their own or with Mike to hammer out the kinks.
Well, and who will they say? I can reach a small heart with 3 sizes that
day. Of those missing ingredients mentioned earlier, the largest finally makes its first appearance. With a week to go, the pit orchestra arrives to rehearse the score with Mike. Those actors who can are encouraged to stay to begin getting acclimated to their new musical environment and, where appropriate, to sing their parts for the musicians to hear. A few use the time to practice their choreography as well. Even without amplification, the orchestra can overpower the actors, so most of them will get wireless microphones. And while they've been used for years, the mics are sometimes temperamental and subject to experimentation. Here, soundboard operator Adam tries a new placement for one of the antennas used to pick up the microphone signals for processing by the sound system. He will need to modulate the volume for the actors and coordinate with Shane on all the sound cues in the script. It's finally time.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them salmon. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them.
From that first choreography session to the show's final number, it's been a process of learning and growth, of staying on task and, yes, sometimes being taken to task, but also of the joy that comes with shared accomplishment. Now, there's a show to do. It's Seusical's last week, a Monday-Saturday marathon of 3 tech rehearsals with all lights and sounds, followed by the 3 performances. Makeup and hair are now addressed. The actors put on their own foundations, but the detail work is best left to Laura's crew. The Grinch, however, is in his own category. That first night, the lighting design is still a work in progress. The LED system can wash the stage or its backdrop in any color at the touch of a button, and Shane experiments with different looks as he programs the show. Remaining formalities include enclosing the pit, shooting the actor portraits, and arranging the cast photos with, well, varying degrees of decorum. The Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday tech rehearsals run fairly smoothly, with only a few stoppages for the musicians, who had just the one previous run-through, to sync up with the stage action. With costumes back in full feather and singers back in full voice, the cast fills the all-but-empty house with energy and drive. And on Wednesday night, with a reminder of where they'd been, Shane commends them on their progress.
So, even though it should not have been as hard as it was, even though we should have never started where we were last Monday, it proves that with hard work, anything's possible. We have 3 nights to make this as good as it possibly can be. And you are ready to add an audience. You are ready.
Some 24 hours later, so are the lobby, full of raffle baskets and truffula trees, and the backstage crew, or techies, who loosen up with an opening night ritual they call the wobble. Dr. Seuss himself would likely have approved.